Why do more archaeological finds emerge, where myth blurs into history? What if Singdui's bronze wheels were built to navigate the stars? What if Egypt's light bulbs were real electricity? And what if humanity itself was altered? How would that change what you believe? From Sumerian clay tablets to secrets scattered worldwide, ruins defying all explanation. Were they built with a code we've yet to crack, a way to decipher, passing down a shared secret? Those legendary myths, were they tales of the ancient Du Chuan, or messages meant for us today? This is the amazing conjecture of the ancient astronaut hypothesis. It's an incredibly imaginative theory. He tried to use extraterrestrial civilization visited the Earth in ancient times, and it affects that view of humanity to reinterpret science to this historical mystery that remains unsolved in archaeological findings. Let's take an open attitude today. Look at the ancient astronaut hypothesis. How do you see those scattered around the world? Unsolved mystery according to records. 5,000 years ago, when our ancestors looked up at the stars, the Book of Changes, a collection of Chinese wisdom, was born. He only uses Jane single yang kiln and een. Kiln 2 symbols, then 64 kinds of hexagrams are evolved through combination and arrangement. It can describe and predict the laws of everything in the universe. When the Book of Changes was introduced to the West German mathematician Leibniz was a treasure. He is later credited as the founding father of binary. When binary was officially defined in the 17th century, Leibniz has publicly admitted he is deeply influenced by this ancient Oriental, inspired by the crystallization of wisdom after the modern era. When scientists imagine how to deal with extraterrestrial civilizations, the first communication, the final answer they gave unexpectedly with the book that read Providence thousands of years ago coincide. That answer is equally binary. This is just a coincidence of history. Is it still? Whether ancient prophets tried to interpret Providence or are modern scientists trying to connect with the stars, we all touch the same cosmic common language. The idea itself, it's enough to send a chill down our spine. He implied perhaps there is a clue that spans time and space has been ignored by us. Let's start with the real world. A real science fiction project that happened began in 1991. The United States spent millions of dollars hire top scholars designing a human 10,000 years from now. Understood symbols alert them to the dangers of nuclear waste. At first glance, this project seems ridiculous. Can't you just right? But you need to know it's a puzzle that spans time. Modern people want to really understand all the ancient words. I want to understand those ancient monuments, murals, and cultural relics. It's so difficult that it requires not only countless experts and scholars put in a lot of work piece together various contemporaneous evidence. Finally got it may not be the truest meaning of the ancients. This makes us realize even future humans from our own ancestry. Effective communication is so difficult. Use ancient languages around the world have long since disappeared. When languages die after the cultural change, we must find a way universal that can be understood by humans of any era. Symbol. Then this leads to a more ambitious, more fascinating challenges. If even internal communication is so difficult, how can we communicate with a group of people, possibly from another galaxy? Physiology and way of thinking, intelligent life that is very different from ours. How about communicating across space? Can there still be a common language between us? In 1974, a group of leading scientists at the time gave their answer: mathematics. That's the binary we mentioned at the beginning. They will write a letter in 2-band code, the Earth card, via the Arecibo radio telescope sent to the depths of the universe 25,000 light years away. This telegram detailed human DNA, the shape in our solar system, and here's what happened. It is in this hypothesis the most talked about part. 27 years later, at a radio observatory in England, in the wheat field next to it, there was a similar use, a reply pattern in binary format. Many people are excited about it, interpreted as an interstellar reply from the universe. His content highly similar to the message sent by humans, but there are striking differences. Humanoid replaced by the little gray man that often appears in the movie Star. Systems are also altered. Even the DNA sequence has changed. However, this is called the mysterious pattern of Boton's reply is not isolated, and here's what's even stranger. He even in a physical way appeared in one of the most sensitive places on Earth in the United States. Roswell, the place famous for the plane crash. Someone once discovered a piece in the desert mysterious stone. Not only does it have a strange magnetic field, and here's what's really amazing. A raised pattern on a stone thousands of kilometers away from many years ago. The pattern of crop circles appearing in the UK is exactly the same one as a pixel painting in a wheat field. One is a physical stone that can be touched. What is the connection between the two? Is this a coincidence, an orchestrated prank, or is it really a reply from the stars? Then the famous Autumn Botone wrote back to the crop circle by a team of artists publicly admit that they created it filled with science fiction art. But here's the problem. A piece with a strange magnetic field pattern stones that coincide with crop circles. How can we explain his origin? The mainstream scientific community generally believes that this kind of event is more of a creative form of artificial art, but ancient astronaut supporters of the hypothesis believe this kind of spanning space mysterious coincidences across media are no accident, is a continuous useful communication attempt. So let's follow the train of thought of this hypothesis. Keep thinking. If this communication is genuine in addition to these modern bits and pieces of information, is it possible that they were in an older age in a grander way leave a mark on our planet? This leads to the second striking thing about this hypothesis coded Earth. To crack this planetary code requires a completely immersive perspective. Imagine turning off the lights late at night. Continental lines and starry sky totems emerge in the darkness. Put on the earphones now. Listen to Douyin with soda music in the lower left corner. Lock screen playback without interrupting the imagination. Time shut down. Help your mind fall asleep. Let the sound lead you to connect to the megalithic town thousands of miles away. Starlight with Orion. This journey to start with an official document from NASA that was in 2014. NASA the Institute jointly released a handbook called Archaeology Anthropology and Interstellar Communication. Archaeology in Chinese anthropology and interstellar communication encourage archaeologists and anthropologists to learn from petrification and ancient carvings, searching for possible extraterrestrial communication evidence. This time, the eyes were directed back to the Earth itself, and proponents of the ancient astronaut hypothesis presents another, even more shocking piece of evidence. The mythical straight line of the Earth. He connected the Giza Plateau, Arpatropos, Polis, Mohenjo-Daro, Wugo Caves, Nazca Lines, and Easter Island, and many other important estimates. This Earth energy line, or vertical line, in the archaeological community and the geography community has not been confirmed. Many scientists have pointed out that draw random lines on the Earth. It is possible to pass through several ruins. Maybe it's just a coincidence of probability. Asterisk, however, the high degree of overlap between the remains of so many heavyweight civilizations still let this hypothesis filled with a powerful attraction. It's an enduring mystery. Of course, correspondence between architecture and stars in different civilizations. It's equally puzzling. Take the three pyramids of Giza, his layout with the three stars of Orion's belt, perfect correspondence in Teotihuacan, Mexico. Hopi Village in America, the layout of their ruins also found there is a striking alignment with Orion. These cross-continents, ancient civilizations isolated from each other. Why is that? They all chose the same stars as a blueprint. This series of amazing coincidences, is it the exquisite design of the ancients? Or is it an imaginative overinterpretation by future generations? The ancient astronaut hypothesis says it's no coincidence. They come from a common body of knowledge. Point 1 is capable of flying around the world, instructor of observing the stars, a view of the universe taught by alien visitors. Finally, the mysterious symbol and bloodline, is it a rewritten myth and legend? In ancient myths around the world, we often see a recurring symbol, entangled double snake, for example. Chinese Fuxi and Nuwa, the ancient Greek scepter Gusumul's magical scepter. From the perspective of modern science, it bears a striking resemblance to the double helix of DNA. Star, the symbol of the two serpents in ancient mythology, interpreted as the DNA double helix. This is a very classic ancient astronaut theory from a semiotic perspective, so that's an interesting kind of association and speculation. This hypothesis further extrapolates that ancient times alien visitor possibly discovered the potential for life on Earth, and through genetic engineering active intervention in early humans, thus accelerating human evolution, then we became what we are today. But so far there is no direct evidence that ancient civilization he had a grasp of molecular biology. This symbolic similarity, it may also be just one cross-cultural aesthetic coincidence, but when one coincidence after another repeated across civilizations and time and space, how can we explain all this? In General A reply from the cosmic telegraph mysterious straight line to Earth and then to the association of ancient symbols with human genes ancient astronaut hypothesis has weaved a grand picture for us and the subversive narrative network he took all the seemingly isolated mysteries connect together pointing to a common possibility. The journey of human civilization may not be lonely. These hypotheses are wonderful, but so far there is no scientific evidence. All of this remains a matter of hypothesis and speculation, the existence of these puzzles that in itself motivates us to explore. To think, to imagine, maybe one day when we actually solve these mysteries, we will find one that is far more amazing than we imagined, a wider world. But before that, we must also be vigilant. Human brain, it's this natural pattern finding trait. He sometimes asks us to put irrelevant things connect. So this is called confirmation bias in psychology. And that's why bold hypotheses and rigorous scientific verification is equally important in this, and that's what's so fascinating about science and exploration.